So Michael, I always get people asking me, which broker should they use? They always come to me first, do you know where I'm going to get the tightest spreads from? Do you know it's got the highest leverage? What do you sort of say to something like that? These sort of people that are new, looking for a new broker, or actually just completely new to trade, and they want a service provider, basically.
To those clients, I would say, take your time. You need to learn what leverage is, what the risks are, what the rewards are, and really understand what you're getting into. And if you are just starting off, then you need to be prepared to go for the trials and tribulations of trading. It's definitely really hard. And for myself, when I started off trading, I lost everything right away, really quickly. I opened up a $4,000 account, and then within 2 or 3 months, I had lost everything because I didn't know how to use my leverage. I was over trading. I didn't even have a trade plan. When I did have a trade plan, I didn't stick to it. For any beginner, I'd say, number one, have realistic expectations about what you want to get from the market. Understand the risk and reward. You're in the market because you're looking for a reward for the risk that you're taking. So if you are taking risk, understand that it can lead to reward, but it can also lead to the other way. I would also let them know to watch out for any of the marketing clauses that are out there saying we give you a bonus for this, a bonus for that. I'd like to warn them to look into the fine details of what those bonuses entail and when they can withdraw their money if they take that bonus, because there's lots of strings attached. And most of the time I've seen traders that have opened up an account, they're like, oh, I'm going to get the bonus. They make a trade, they win a little bit of money, and they're like, okay, I'm going to take it out and you keep the bonus. But then to say, no, you're not touching that money until you pay the bonus back.
Read that small print.
Read that small print and understand what it is. I think it's a bit of a drug that they're feeding them. And if you understand what you're taking so you don't get hooked on it, and understand how to wean yourself off of it. Yeah.
And then just going back to, obviously you were saying about, it's all about process, right? And during the process, make sure you're properly educated when it comes for it. But unfortunately, like everyone that comes in, and obviously a lot of my followers as well, are not well versed or educated on that side of things. They have the wrong message from the get-go embedded in their heads with Forex, And what's your take on that with the message that's being pumped out at the moment with Forex trading?
Like anything in life, there is no quick fix to anything, and everything takes time, patience, and it's a learning curve that you have to go through. Most of the traders that are successful that are out there, they don't trade that often. They understand their risk to reward ratio. They spent a lot of time losing and understanding what it takes. If you expect to be a winner right off the bat, you might get a few trades going your way, but sooner or later you're gonna mismanage them. You're gonna over leverage yourself, and you're going to deviate from the plan because your emotions kick in.
Massively, yeah, exactly. The thing is, I always say, your winning streak is just as deadly as your losing streak, if not worse. You start getting overconfident, start doubling up on the trade sizes, and then that's when the problems kick in. So, yeah.
It goes crazy. And from our side, we'd rather see our traders trade less and trade better. Because I don't want a client to blow their account out in 1, 2, 3 months. And let's face it, the lifeline for a client who comes in as a newbie is 3 months. If we can extend that to 3 years to 5 years and then make them successful all throughout, then we've created a client and a relationship for life. But you lots of people I see come into the Forex world and they're like, I want to quit my job. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go to my 9-to-5 job. I just want to put $10,000 in and live off of that for the rest of my life.
That's it, unfortunately.
And that's not realistic.
No.
No matter what anybody is telling you, that's not realistic. Someone might get lucky for 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, but as soon as a trend kicks in and the range cuts out, the markets are unforgiving, because once it can move 300 pips within a range, but then once it breaks out of that range, you're looking at 600, 700, 1200 pips, just like that. And it just keeps moving, and all of a sudden they start martingaling themselves, and they just blow themselves out of the water. But if they had a healthy mindset, and they had education to help them understand that it's okay to lose. It is okay to lose, but know where you got to cut your losses. And if traders can get better at that, and knowing when to cut their loss, having a trade plan, understanding what their emotions are, and understanding how to walk away instead of getting upset and trying to double down. And their emotions compile on one another, because they're like, oh, I'm doing this to make a living and I have to live off of this money. All of a sudden they get scared, they double down, they triple down, and then they just shoot themselves in the foot. Next thing they know, they're back at Burger King trying to get
as harsh as that.
Or even worse, they lose the friends and family money. And that's something really hard to do.
That's right.
So it's a lot of responsibility, and especially if you're gonna take funds from people and manage them.
Now, going back to, obviously, we briefly touched on the broker side of things. Now, you said something really interesting, that it's actually a fresh of breath air. Still can't get out. A breath of fresh air. There we go. A breath of fresh air. You saying that, with your clients that you speak to, you actually don't want them to be trading all the time. Whereas most brokers, they want you to be trading. They're doing all these things to trigger, all these little naughty tactics to try and bring you in to trade. Okay, so firstly, two-part question. The first part, why are these brokers doing that? Why? Because a lot of people won't know why. And then the other part is, why are you guys wanting them to trade less? Out of interest.
Well, most brokers make their money off of taking risk on their clients and taking the other side of the trade. And for them, those brokers, they care about the trade. They don't care about the trader. And over here at Scandinavian Capital Markets, we care about the trader, number one, and we care about the trade, number two, making sure that we don't mess with the trade. And as soon as they see that, oh, we can take this client's money, then all of a sudden they manipulate a trade, or they mess with the fills, or there's all the tricks in between, and they've all experienced it. And for us, if we can just give them a fair place to trade where they have a chance at success, we've done our job, and we can go to bed at night with sleeping well, and that's what we love about Sweden. Sweden, the mentality is it's everybody cares about everybody else. There's not a lot of greed over here. There's a lagom mentality where it's about just having enough of what you need and not having too much, and there's not a lot of greed, and people follow the rules over here. They respect the rules, and that's something that doesn't exist in the markets. And people are like, oh, let's get their money, let's put it in our pockets. And for us, as an STP broker, a straight through processor, we're passing the trades through with our banks, our liquidity providers, and the other partners. So we only make our money off of the spreads and the commissions. And for us, that's where we make our money. So I'd rather see clients trade less, so that way they take less risk in the market, and I'd rather have them for 3 years making trades and growing their account slowly but surely and getting a great track record and having realistic expectations of what the market is, rather than them coming with false pipe dreams and thinking they're going to be a millionaire after they turn their $2,000 investment plus their bonus into $1 million. So from our side, we're coming with realistic expectations, but we also are coming in with a heart. We care about our clients, we care about our traders, and we want to change the industry and the reputation that it has for being a slick and shady environment.
Arif, so got a good insight there from Michael about the overall sort of Forex industry. Now, it's just be good to know a bit more, obviously, about SCM, because you guys are quite new, as far as I'm aware, as a Forex brokerage. So can you give us a little bit of background?
Sure. So obviously we started off as an asset management company many years ago, and we were trading strategies, and we're developing strategies, and we were onboarded with a lot of brokers, and to be honest, it always ended up in a disappointment. To be honest. We're slipping us, widening the spreads, like all sorts of, nasty tactics, to be honest. And then we're like, if we're not getting this, I guess, the trading environment that we need, why not create one, So that's really the idea of SCM, that we wanted to create sort of that institutional type brokerage, for us and other people as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's sort of how it started.
Okay, interesting. So,
and I guess to add on that, part was also that we saw an opportunity to have a Swedish broker as well, because frankly there is none.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of any Swedish broker.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. So we thought the industry's been sort of dominated by Cyprus, Malta, Israel. So we thought this is a breath of fresh air,
no doubt.
So that was really the idea, to sort of have a Swedish SDP broker, so to speak, and it's great. A lot of people resonate with the Swedish broker. I guess the idea is sort of because what is Sweden known for? It's known for safety, security. Transparency. So our idea was basically to incorporate a lot of these values into an FX brokerage. So that was sort of the whole idea behind SCM.
Yeah, because there's tons of brokers out there, right? Tons with wrong morals, that are just about churning and burning clients, and they have no value whatsoever. No value. It's just all about the money. What are you guys really going to be doing differently to all these other guys?
So I guess that's a great question. We sort of, and me and Michael have been talking about, we really want to become the Volvo of the FX industry. So if you look at Volvo, for an example, every time there's a client, they actually invite them over to their factory, and they show them how the car is manufactured, the different components, and that sort of stuff. So the whole idea was to implement that into FX as well, and sort of have full disclosure and full transparency into how we operate as a brokerage. I guess part of that is that we invite our clients over to our offices to meet us, to hear our stories, we hear their stories, and really to sort of have a human interaction. And I think that has really lacked in this industry.
Massively.
Everything's an MT4 number, everything's an account number. All business is pretty much done online, but there's no sort of human interaction. And that's really what we want to change, with the Valhalla, is to invite people over, to actually meet them and see who we're doing business with. And, that way sort of, kind of change the industry as it were.
Love that. Transparency. There's not enough transparency in this market today.
Right.
It's not enough at all. So, I like that.
Right. Yeah. So, just to give you a bit of a background, obviously, on the Valhalla. So, if you know anything about, Nordic mythology, Valhalla was actually the place where, a lot of the slain warriors resurfaced, let me put this, resurfaced basically to be able to live an eternal life. And what we're trying to do here is basically gather all the slain FX warriors, so to speak, and implement the same philosophy in the FX world as well, whereby we create a Valhalla, a good trading environment for them to be able to trade peacefully without obviously the nasty type of tactics like different brokers have sort of
I respect that, because there are a lot of wounded people out there that the FX market has chewed up and spit out nastily, and that comes down to obviously being missold by these brokers, being missold by these educators, promising them the world, and they're left in tatters. So obviously, say for example, and I've got many people that follow me that are in that category, with someone like this coming to you guys, how are you going to sort of accommodate them? How are you going to service them after they've just literally been battered, essentially?
Right. So that's a great question. So typically, our job here is not to educate them to trade. Our job is basically to be able to give them a fair and equitable trading environment to be able to trade in. So our job is to provide them with content, good institutional type content for them to be able to learn how to trade better, and also to be able to give them better tools to be able to succeed. For us, because we're not a B-book broker, we're purely STP. We actually want our traders to succeed, because if they succeed, then we can actually succeed as a broker and as a business. We can keep the clients for a lot longer period than somebody that just blows up their account within a couple of weeks.
Exactly.
So for us, it's really about helping you, giving you the enabling you, giving you the tools to be able to succeed with research and anything that we can help, and also to be really there for you. I often say that we're not the biggest broker, and we're not the smallest broker, but I believe that we are the most personable broker, whereby, you can approach us even as the owners.
Yes.
We have a lot of clients that, we have in touch, and, a lot of them are, if they need anything that, typically sometimes they even come to us instead of the account managers, and we have no problems with helping out, So I guess that's really our main goal and philosophy, is to just be very approachable and really help our traders succeed, because ultimately if they succeed, then we succeed.
Yeah, no, I respect that. It is. As I said when I spoke to you, I was a bit like, no, this is too good to be true. Your morals are too right for this industry. What's going on here? Where's the catch?
Yeah.
But no, honestly, really am bought into your approach, and I love it. Honestly, and I think you guys can do some big things.
In all honesty, there's no other way. I mean, with the things, the world is going in towards more transparency. With the internet, if you get a bad, traders are a lot more educated these days than like 15 or 20 years ago, because they didn't have access to the same material information that they have today. People are a lot more connected these days. So if there is a broker or an entity that does wrong, it spreads out, much quicker and faster than it would do like just 10 or 15 years ago. So I think it's very important to elevate the standards in the industry, and frankly just create an alternative for people to be able to trade. People are just being dominated and brutalized by other brokers out there, and not only brokers, but like you said, a lot of different service providers and educators, and just to be able to get a quick buck.
Exactly.
But if you create a sustainable business model, and you create a good reputation for yourself, then I think it might take longer for you to succeed, but ultimately you'll succeed and you'll create value for people,
and that's
as
the
well.
key. That's the key, and that's what I was saying to you yesterday. I put out a lot of value to people on a daily basis, and I literally spend hours putting this content together to educate these people, but my growth isn't as big as it should be in comparison to people that are showing these, this flashy lifestyle. It's people still drawn in by that nonsense, and it's taken me time, but I know it's getting there. I'm getting the message out, and there's more people benefiting from what I'm doing. But as you say, it's slower, but it's going to have more greater impact for the good.
Right.
So
and that's what it's all about. Like aligning yourself with key allies in this industry. Like-minded people who share the same goals and visions that you do in an ethical and moral way.
Exactly.
And when more people like this unite and collaborate, that's where the growth will happen a lot quicker, and you will be able to grow a lot faster as well.
Indeed.
So that's really our approach with Scandinavian Capital Markets, is really to reach out to good like-minded people, whether that's educators, other brokers, traders, speakers, whatever it may be, and just to build allies, build bridges to people.
That's it.
That's really, it's such a simple thing, but no one's done it.
No one's done it. No, not at all. Awesome.
Yeah.